Today we are going to look at how to assess for confounding in binary logistic regression in Stata. We have previously checked step 1 up to 3, and in our subsequent episodes we shall be assessing for goodness of fit and how to properly interpret the results of this analysis. So consider liking and subscribing so that you don't miss out any of our episodes. When we talk about confounding, this is a situation where the relationship between your independent variable and your outcome variable is distorted by another variable. Suppose you want to study the relationship between exercise and hypertension, but you suspect that age may influence this relationship, then age could be a confounder because older people tend to exercise less. So this variable is related to exercise. But also, age directly increases blood pressure. So still age is associated with your outcome. A confounder is that variable that is related with both the independent variable and outcome variable. So if you do not adjust for that variable age, it might look like exercise has got a big effect on hypertension than it actually does. So here is the hypothetical data set that we are going to use to demonstrate how to assess for confounding. And in this we have our outcome variable, hypertension. Those who do not have hypertension, no, coded as 0, and those who have it, coded as 1. We also have a total of 7 independent variables here, 3 of which are numeric, that's age, BMI, and cholesterol. The rest are binary categorical independent variables. So if in this analysis we suspect that family history could be confounding the relationship between any of these independent variables with the outcome, we have to check for that in our analysis. So we are going to look at how this procedure is done in Stata. However, before we do that, we have some basic principles that we have to first understand. In assessing for confounding, what we are essentially doing is to, first of all, run our model without that potential confounder to get the crude model. That crude model gives us the crude estimates or odds ratios to be specific. We then run that model again, but this time including our potential confounder to get the adjusted model, which will give us the adjusted odds ratios. We then compare the estimates we got in the crude and the adjusted to see by what percentage have these estimates changed. If we have a change of more than 10%, then we shall consider that that variable is confounding the relationship between the specific variables that have increased. So assuming this family history is our potential confounder, so we are going to first fit a crude model without family history. So to fit that crude model, we are going to statistics, go to binary outcomes, then go to logistic regression. In this dialog box, we are going to specify our outcome variable, which is hypertension. Then we put in the rest of the independent variables, age, sex, BMI, smoking, cholesterol, physical activity. Because we are adjusting for family history, in the crude model, we do not include it. Then we click OK. So we do have our crude model, and our focus is on the crude odds ratios here, this column having odds ratios for each of the independent variables. So that's the crude model. We then fit an adjusted model having that variable we are adjusting for. So to fit the adjusted model, it is the same process. So we can just click on this command and we add in our variable, family history, which we are assessing whether it is confounding the relationship. Enter that, and then you will have your model having a family history. Our interest here is to look at our crude model here and our adjusted model. I've just copied and pasted them in this Excel to aid our computations. We have the crude estimates, the crude odds ratios. I've pasted them in this column. I then got the estimates when family history is in the equation. That's from the adjusted model. Then I pasted them here, and we computed the percentage change using the formula. Percentage change is the same as the crude estimate minus the adjusted estimate over the crude times 100. That's how we got these values in the percentage change column. Since none of these have changed by more than 10%, then family history does not confound any relationship between any of the rest of the independent variables with our outcome. It is not a confounder. While the process of assessing for confounding is as simple as that, the next question we have is, out of the many variables, the independent variables I have, which one do I start assessing confounding with, followed by which other variable? Or which one shouldn't I assess for confounding? So to determine which variables should you start with assessing for confounding, you have to be very clear within your study whether you do have a main exposure or you don't have a main exposure. When we say you do not have a main exposure using our hypothetical data set, we are like asking a question, what are the factors associated with the hypertension? We do not have that particular variable where our focus is. But if we have a main exposure, we would be asking a question such as, is age associated with the hypertension? So that our focus is age, but we have to adjust for the rest of the variables. So let us see a scenario where you do not have a main exposure. If you do not have a main exposure and you are asking which variable should I assess for confounding, what you'll first do is to determine which of the independent variables in your dataset are non-significant. And then you assess whether you should retain them in your model as confounders using the stepwise methods. So to run the stepwise approach, simply go to Statistics, go to Other, and then select Stepwise Estimation. In this dialog box, we are going to specify the command of the type of regression we are using. We are interested in logistic. We also have logit here. Both of them are running same models, but there is a difference in whether they give you odds ratios or coefficients. Whatever you use doesn't matter at this point, so I'm just going to select logistic, which gives us odds ratios for consistency. Then for the dependent variable, we specify, which is hypertension, and then we add our independent variables as terms in this box. We shall add term 1, which is age. Click OK. Then I add another term, which is sex. Click OK. And I always feel lazy when I have many variables adding them here like this. So I just demonstrate how to get the command. Then I proceed to add the rest of the variables once I have the command in the command window. But before we run it, we have to specify the significance level for removal from the model. So this stepwise approach is putting all our variables into the model and removing those that are non-significant. So we have to tick this box and specify our p-value for removal, usually 0.05, and then click OK. You can see that we've only put 2 variables, so just get that command and add the rest of the variables. We have BMI, smoking, cholesterol, physical activity, and then family history. I click enter. You can see that Stata started with all the variables into the model and went on removing those that are non-significant. So it started with removing family history and it has removed BMI last. So when we are going to assess for confounding, we start by assessing confounding with the variable that was last removed from our model. So the variables that are significant or those that were retained in the model will form our initial crude model. Our crude model now has age, sex, and cholesterol. To fit the crude binary logistic model, we can just borrow the command because we've already seen where to get them. So once the command is here, I can first remove all the variables and only include those I want: age, sex, and then cholesterol level. So that is our crude model. So we start by running an adjusted model for BMI. So onto this model, we shall add BMI and then click enter. We have adjusted estimates, and we go through the process of determining the difference in these coefficients between the crude and adjusted. So I assessed for confounding for the rest of the variables: physical activity, smoking, and family history, in that order in which they were removed. When we adjusted for BMI, there was no change above 10%. Similar for physical activity, when we adjusted for it, none was above 10. Smoking status, nothing, and also family history, none of the coefficients changed by more than 10%, meaning all those variables were not confounding the relationship between the variables in the model and the outcome. So we didn't have confounders. So that's how you would check for confounding in binary logistic regression when you do not have a main exposure. You determine which factors are non-significant using the stepwise method like we've done, and you bring in one at a time with the one dropped last and check percentage change in coefficients. If we had interaction, then those variables that are interacting, we do not check whether they are confounding. We have a previous episode on how to check for interaction. If you have not yet looked at it, I highly encourage that you check it out. Now we look at scenario 2, where you have got a main exposure. If I have a main exposure, how do I select which variables to assess for confounding? With the main exposure, you assess for confounding even for significant variables in the model against the main exposure. What we mean here is, if we had age as a main exposure, maybe the question was, is age associated with hypertension? So we are going to assess for confounding for all those variables the way we have done them. But in that case, we shall only be assessing the percentage change on our main exposure. We would only be calculating this. Even when we come to physical activity, we calculate whether physical activity is confounding our main exposure. Similarly with smoking, we assess whether smoking is confounding our main exposure, and family history as well, whether it confounds our main exposure. However, on top of assessing whether non-significant variables are confounding our main exposure, we also go ahead and assess whether those significant variables in the model are confounding the main exposure. Previously, our focus has been on variables that are not statistically significant, but if you have a main exposure, even those that are significant and remained in your model, you assess for confounding with the main exposure. So we would go ahead and fit a model if we are assessing whether cholesterol confounds the relationship between age and hypertension. We run one without cholesterol and then adjusted where cholesterol is, and we check the percentage change. We do the same where we remove sex and only run age and cholesterol. As we are adjusting for sex, our focus is the percentage change on the main exposure. So that's how you assess for confounding in binary logistic regression. If you found this video useful, consider liking and subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss out any of our episodes. Next, we shall be assessing for goodness of fit of our final model before interpretation. See you in the next episode.